Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fan Battle Cast. We do casts and we debate which characters are going to win. On the left is introduce yourself.
Hello,
One of us is introducing. Oh,
I'm on the left side of the screen, sir.
sorry.
Man, sorry. Uh, person. I am Zoro. I'm here as a jury member.
Yes, Zoro, my favorite One Piece character. All right, introduce yourself, Mr. Ridley Man.
Hello there, I am Riddles, the most widespread member of the Fan Battlecast group. They also here as a juror.
All right. Last but not least, we have Monica.
Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between. My name is Queen of the Dead, and I am the person who pitched this matchup that we're covering today. And I'll also be representing Aqua Shuzen
Yes.
from Rosario Vampire.
And I am the Kagurabachi, master of all things Mega 10. I will find a way to connect Itachi to Shin Megami Tensei, don't worry. Anyways,
As you do.
the matchup we have today is Itachi versus a random character you guys don't know.
Oh no!
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry about it.
Joke's on you, I read Rosario Vampire like a decade ago.
True, true. So, I guess before we begin this cast properly, Queen of the Dead, would you like to explain what Rosario Vampire is?
So Rosario Vampire is a fantasy horror manga that came out in the 2000s. It basically takes place in a world where monsters, which are referred to as yokai, are hiding their existence from humanity. And in order to do so, they have a school called Yokai Academy that allows students that are yokai to learn how to best pass as humans so they can integrate into human society. However, the hands of fate start to change when a human by the name of Sukune Ano accidentally enrolls into the school.
Yep, that's a good explanation. That's a great explanation. So that's the basics of Rosario Vampire. Um,
So, are vampires considered yokai in that setting?
Yes. I'll get to rankings later on. But yeah, they are like very powerful monsters.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, it's kind
yes,
of the mood of just
it's
yokai is
basically
just the broad term of monster, and that's in that world.
Got it. I'm only familiar with Naruto on this side, so consider me the audience surrogate for not knowing what Rosario Vampire is.
yeah. I don't think we need to explain what Naruto is. If you guys know anime, you guys know Naruto, and if you don't know Naruto, then what are you even doing here?
Get
We
out!
appreciate it if you guys are here just because you saw Fan Battlecast having an episode, but we're kind of assuming that you're probably here because Itachi Uchiha is one of the characters.
All right.
Yeah, ain't nobody here for Aqua.
If you're here because Rosario Vampire content, then honestly, your dedication is astounding, and we applaud you for it.
Honestly, if Rosario Vampire fans are watching this right now, I just want to say we thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts.
Yes, thank you for coming out for your support. Thank you for supporting the Fan Battle Cast, and yeah, I don't have a third thing. I couldn't think of one.
Anyways, should we start our 60 seconds now?
I'd say so.
Alright,
You first.
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, 60 seconds. Itachi Uchiha. He was introduced at the start of the series as an antagonist to the heroes. And then later on, after a whole bunch of shenanigans, it was eventually revealed that what he is doing was actually for the good of the village. He wanted to protect Konoha, and he had to do a lot of things that seemed bad in order to do so. However, Itachi understands this and he goes to these extreme lengths to protect his brother and the village he loves. Itachi, he is quite the master at genjutsu and is a really skilled ninja in his own right, being able to hold his own against many characters in Naruto. And yeah, that's really what I know about Itachi.
Oh boy, my turn. So Aqua Shuzen, also known as the Jet Black Devil, is an assassin working for the Gion clan and of Rosario Vampire's equivalent of the Triad. And she also works as a high-ranking member of a mysterious organization known as Fairy Tail, whose goals are to completely wipe out humanity and take over the planet. Aqua is also later revealed, to have good intentions hidden under the surface. She is extremely intelligent. She is a master martial artist, and she has one particular ability that, just to sum it up, it basically allows her to face through anything. And I mean anything. You guys are in for.
I didn't realize we would be discussing Kamui bullshit today.
Uh, we are sadly not because Itachi does not have Kamui.
That
As
ability Queen just described was basically Kamui.
basic,
It's
almost.
fairly similar to Kamui. We will get to that.
Okay
So,
then. So
mm,
you know what? Let's about to. I figured going on through. About to say, since Itachi's skill set is more familiar to the average person.
yep, you could go ahead and explain how Akua fights if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Aqua is, well, to start off, Aqua is a vampire, and yokai within the world of Rosario Vampire are ranked in a letter system, with the lowest monsters being like rank F, and the highest ranking monsters upon average being S class monsters. And Aqua herself, being a vampire, is an S class monster. However, there's a level above that called the Dark Lords, who were three very powerful individuals that defeated the main antagonist of the series, a mysterious vampire by the name of Alucard, thousands of years ago.
Can I say, as a person
And
who's on.
there's a few statements that state that Aqua should be on level with all three of the Dark Lords. Now, to get into her main ability, within the series, there's this thing called Yojutsu, or Demon Arts, which is, I don't have a better word to put it, is basically ki. It is basically like ki and ninjutsu, um, which allows users of it to perform magical feats and abilities. And Aqua can use a lot of those, but the main one that she's well known for is an ability called Hogetsu Jigentu. I probably botched the name of that. Can you pull up the picture labeled Jigentu explanation, please? Do we have that?
Oh, here we go.
So basically, um, as you can see here, the wheel. Anybody who uses Jigen 2, they're able to move a part of a body, usually their hand, back and forth between two different dimensional planes. The one that we exist on in a higher plane, and just moving it up to a higher plane, you can phase through objects, and if you move it back and forth, it allows your hand to cut through anything like a magic saw. And Aqua is very, very deadly with that. Can you pull up Jigen 2 1 and 2? Uh, oh, sorry. Let me be specific. The flashback one. I should have specified. As you can see, that poor good, yeah, that that he's not okay.
Yeah, boy.
And that is her at, uh, I believe she was 17 years old when she did this. Throughout most of the series in the main canon, she's 24, 25. But with Shigen, most masters of Shigen 2 are able to do this. Aqua is just on a whole different level. Can you pull up Shigen 2 1 and 2 again? See, this is where the comparison to Kamui comes in. Aqua, instead of just on her hand, she has trained enough with Jigen 2 to be able to use it on her whole body. Basically allowing her to phase for anything. You see this attack here?
Uh-huh.
Can you pull up the next image right after that? She is perfectly fine.
Oh no, she's aura farming.
A whole room set on fire by that attack, and she's fine. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
All right, seems cool. Let me get into some Itachi stuff. So, Itachi, as we know, is a ninja. So he has all the typical ninja stuff that he can do, like substitution jutsu. He has the sword, shuriken, kunai, paper bombs, smoke bombs. Um, he has his Sharingan, which allows him to predict the movements of others before they even do it. That's the thing the Sharingan can do. He can walk on water, typical jutsus, you know, a lot of things. Also, a master at stealth. He is very stealthy.
Can you
But
give us an
beyond
example?
that, Itachi, as an Uchiha, is of course specialized in the fire techniques. He has a lot of fireball techniques, huge flame attacks that can absolutely destroy anything in its path. So if you pull up Fireball, you can see a lot of fire. His fire is insanely hot as well. So if you pull up Fireball Neg, his fireball is capable of just obliterating other people's fireballs. So it is insanely hot and destructive. Uh, In fact, it was capable of burning through the toad.
What is the toad?
Let me pull up. Could you pull up Supernova?
The toad.
Yeah.
It could hurt the toad. Me thinking myself, it's just like, what does Toad from Mario have to do with this?
Yeah.
I was drinking water when you made that joke.
I mean, the toad. Yeah.
Oh, that toad.
Yeah, that toad.
Ooh, that does look painful.
It is. It is very painful. So, needless to say, Itachi's fire style, very, very impressive.
Okay, but does it have a way to beat someone that can phase through fire?
That's where we're gonna get into later.
Yeah, right now there's the way this is set up kind of leads to one very important stat being Bate being around.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I do have other stuff to get into, but I don't want to like overload you guys with Itachi. You know,
yeah.
Uh,
That's fair. Don't want to play your hand.
I mean, just go over what you think's like the noticeable points that would be relevant for a debate like this.
Uh, well, I do have a question for Queen, just regarding on
Yes.
vampires in this world. Uh,
Yeah. Well,
so I know we've established that yokai are just the general term for monsters, but like being a vampire, like how does this show interpret vampiric abilities? Like, are we working with like standard like can't walk in the sunlight, can't walk into other people's doors without permission vampire rules, or are there a
so
specific set of? Oh, go ahead.
vampires in Rosario Vampire, and we are of course focusing more on the manga because Aqua is a manga only character,
Okay.
sadly. Um, vampires are often compared to being actual demons. They're that powerful. They are not weak to sunlight. Vampires like Aqua's sister Mocha can just go in the daylight with no trouble at all. Um, they're incredibly strong, incredibly fast. Some weaker vampires, like um, mm, some weaker vampires, are able to dodge bullets, and some can even dodge lightning.
Ooh. Okay, so there are like no discernible vampire weaknesses that can be exploited
There,
just for being a vampire.
there are vampire weaknesses that they do have. The main two being, as was mentioned before the stream, water and silver can severely harm them.
I see. I see.
However, that's kind of easier said than done with somebody who can phase through just about anything. I will get into her weaknesses a little later. She does have weaknesses,
Come on,
All right.
you
but
gotta
yeah.
gaslight us into thinking that she's completely undefeatable.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss it.
I'm sure if she went up against Spider-Man, she would lose trust. But that's besides the point. This is not Spider-Man versus Akua. This is Itachi
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
Akua.
Focus on the cast at hand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Do we
you
want to get
y'all want to
into?
know? You want to know what a fun fact, real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Originally, when I was thinking of characters to fight against Aqua, my initial opponent idea was Adam Taurus.
Oh lord.
Crazy.
Anyway, though,
That would have ended very quickly.
Yep.
so quick question to go on through. So Matt, you mentioned before about like with Aqua scaling to like Dark Lords and stuff. How strong on average is a Rosario vampire character?
um, So on average, there are characters able to break walls, and that's like the lower end. On the higher end, can you pull up the image for Alucard at his prime?
Can I just say, with like, I remember reading up like stuff for this thing, and it's like I'm seeing things like fairy tale, Alucard, and I am very confused.
Yes, I know. Uh, so this is a panel from a flashback talking about Alucard. This guy is really powerful, as you can see in the screenshot. Entire land ends into seas of fire in just 7 days. That's how powerful he was said to be.
All right, and
And the Three Dark Lords, how they defeated him is they basically sealed him away into a dormant state where he could not do anything. And by that point, he basically become like as it says, a giant monster. He's basically a kaiju, and Aqua's able to keep up with all three of them. That's just not good.
all right, so the three Dark Lords were able to seal away Alucard. So, like, what is like the rough peak of what like a Dark Lord can do? Like, what's the scale of like an
Can you
individual Dark Lord?
can you pull up Aqua and Akasha versus Alucard, please? So this is from the flashback. Around this time, Aqua and Akasha just finished fighting, and they were both holding back. This is Aqua using Gigantu, also called the Dimension Sword, on Alucard because he was under the Shuzen family home, and he woke up briefly. And yeah, that's Gigantu doing nothing to him. If you look at the next image, there's Akasha preparing to kick that tentacle, and if you look at the next image, I don't recall if that ever grows back.
Huh.
But you can clearly tell that did a lot more damage than Gigantu.
All right, all right.
All right.
So I guess that Akua's main game plan in this fight is going to be approach Itachi and just saw him up like that.
Yeah.
How I imagine the fight carrying out is they're both sent after like the same target in cross paths. And because they both have to complete their missions, that means they have to fight.
All right.
Uh,
So then,
do
what?
you guys want me to like get into skill for Itachi, or like what do you guys want me to go into? Like,
Yeah.
I'll ask you guys.
I guess you can also bring up how strong you think Itachi is and potentially skills to counter, about say, the bot of Wincon.
Yeah, yeah. Like, how does Itachi do damage in this fight?
Hmm, I guess we could go into general skill first. So Itachi is one of the most skilled fighters in all of Naruto. He he is able to like pick up on stuff really fast. He has a very genius level intellect when it comes to fighting. He can analyze his opponent's motivations, their goals, their moves, their abilities, their weaknesses, and possible methods of countering their abilities in the most efficient way. So let's bring this up. When Itachi was young, he already was basically a master marksman. Could you pull up "I never miss"? I never miss. That's Hawkeye's ult. So Itachi is able to land his attacks pretty much from an impressive distance, no matter what, from a very young age. Uh, this is like a, a flashback, but Itachi's already this good at like being a young age, like shinobi. Imagine how good he got later. In fact, could you pull up Itachi's skill? At seven, at 7 years old, Itachi graduated from the Ninja Academy. The Ninja Academy, and then at 8, he mastered the Sharingan, and then at 10, he became a Chunin. Do you understand how dangerous the tuning exams are? They are putting kids through. Honestly, they might have to call CPS if they exist. The
You
tuning
know,
exams were very dangerous and extremely taxing on an individual. And Itachi was already able to do that at the age of 10. Keep in mind, in the average Naruto world, like the normally a normal ninja would only be able to pass the Chunin exams at 12 years old. Itachi did it at 10.
it's in my head. It's like this is supposed to be impressive goes on through, but I'm just still now on the thing of like you're supposed to be 12 when you become a Chunin, and I'm just like, man, I forget how fucked up the Naruto world was.
Yeah, just send 12-year-olds into the forest of doom, and then only a small fraction of them will come out alive. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Don't worry, guys. The ninjas that survive, they're just the good ones. Don't worry.
All right, so
All
yeah,
right, so
Itachi is just doing it 2 years early, and eh, all right, but like
yeah, yeah. Do
I
you
don't
want
mean
me?
to keep looping back to this, but it's a very important question. But like, how does he hit Akua?
How does he hit? Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't vampires weak to water and silver?
Yes, but
Yeah.
as I said, those have been tried against her and failed. I will get to that later. Because it also ties into another question for this matchup.
Well, I didn't bring up. I was gonna save this for way later on, but if you guys really want me to bring this up now, I can. Do you guys want me to bring up how I think he hits her?
Yes, I would like to know that.
All right. We got Genjutsu. Now, Itachi's Genjutsu, one of the best Genjutsu, some of the best Genjutsu in the entire series. This is not an attack that attacks you physically. Genjutsu is all about the mind. It attacks your mind, it attacks your senses. So it's not an attack that you can avoid, at least in terms of physically dodging it. So Genjutsu, Itachi's Genjutsu is so strong that he can affect Genjutsu masters who are normally resistant to Genjutsu. Could you pull up fraud check? So Itachi has Genjutsu, this Genjutsu master, and it was a no diff. It was pretty much a no diff. She instantly got caught in the genjutsu, and it was not even close. Um, let's see, what else do we have here? Sorry if I'm taking a while. I'm just looking through my scans.
No, you're good. You're good.
Take your time.
Yeah. So, Kakashi. If we pull up, hold on, let me see. Kakashi is little bro. Uh, Kakashi could not keep up with the genjutsu. He even says here himself that it's extremely fast, and he could not react to it in time. Also, Itachi has Shadow Clone. That's another thing to point out. And you might be thinking, well, don't you need to look at Itachi's eye in order to affect him? In order for him to affect you? No, you don't. Itachi can just point at you, and you're instantly in the genjutsu. Could you pull up Uncle Sam?
I'm sorry, Uncle Sam.
Yes, Uncle, because Itachi wants you and a genjutsu. So Itachi points at you, and you just get genjutsu'd instantly.
The second I thought it's like this is the weirdest way to confirm that that Naruto and DC have crossed over.
Yeah. Also, Naruto is resistant towards mental attacks. He still got affected.
Oh boy, I have a really good calendar.
I was about to ask.
Yeah. Because
So, illusions, huh? Guys, can we pull up the last waltz feat?
the last waltz.
Yep. So, do you see this character here? This is one of the main characters of Rosario+Vampire. Her name is Kurumi Kurono. Kurumi is a succubus. She has a lot of abilities that you'd expect from a traditional succubus. She can charm people. Well, she can fly. She has razor sharp claws, and one of her biggest abilities that you see within this feat is illusions. She can make illusions that look so real they can physically interact with the environment around them. As you can see here, Akua is cutting through a clone that she thought was Kurumi. And in the next slide, you'll see another character involved in this feat. No, sorry, next slide after that. Well, yeah, you can obviously see that's an illusion, but yeah, the next slide after that. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep.
I was about to say the way this is going is the fact of like she can be tricked by
Fourth
illusions.
slide. Okay, there we go. Okay, this other character, Missouri, she. Okay, Snow Fairy is a localization. She is actually a Yukiona. So all of her abilities are based off of ice. She can anywhere there is water, she can make ice. Nice, and use it to great effect. She can make claws. She can make clones of herself. She can throw kunai made of ice. And as we've mentioned before, vampires are weak to water. And so Kurumi and Missouri have teamed up and have done training together in order to fight vampires like Aqua's sister Mocha. And so, in the last couple of panels, the next 3 panels, they have an attack that they perform called the Last Waltz. Which is basically what they did is Missouri made a giant block of ice in the air, and Kurumi made an illusion around it to make it look and feel bigger. And this is supposed to be able to severely wound or even kill vampires like Aqua. And it's even stated here that one of the weaknesses of users of Gigantu is for the dodging feat that Aqua is known for, they only have like a 40-second window before they can phase again. Next slide, please. Next one, please.
So many manga pans.
This is her just having cut through that entire illusion. And then RKOing Kurumi and Missouri. They almost die here.
I wanted to emphasize this thing with Rosario+Vampire about the fact that it started out as like a comedy harem manga. And then we get this shit.
I'm telling you, this is absolute bullshit. Yeah, you say she can be trapped by a genjutsu? I don't think so. She might just cut through it.
I think she can.
So,
But I'll explain why I think she can later. I haven't really talked much about Itachi's stats. Do you want me to go into that?
yeah, I was about to say, one of these things that it's like with the intangibility and stuff is the fact of, well, okay, it's a two thing of if it turns out that it's like, let's say, of how high Itachi gets of like damage-wise to even hurt her in the first place, and the other is speed.
Yeah. So we obviously heard about Akue's stats. Pretty impressive, right?
Pronounced Aqua.
Yeah.
Just to be sure, it's pronounced Aqua.
Huh?
It's
Did you say-
pronounced Aqua, like the word for water.
Aqua? Okay.
Oh, all right.
I have seen though that like sometimes her
My
name
bad.
is
I
translated like Aqua.
mispronounced. I mispronounced the name.
To be
Okay.
fair, not
That's
intuitive.
So could you pull up "Stand Down, Little Bro"? So this is Itachi casually little broing Sasuke. Sasuke is using Chidori, which is a lightning attack, and as you saw from earlier, pretty much Itachi blitzed Kakashi, so Kid Kakashi could cut a lightning in half, and was pretty fast. So that's pretty fast. And Chidori itself is a lightning jutsu. But if that wasn't enough, could you pull up Nagito's speed? So Nagito, this is a calculation on Nagito's speed. Itachi scales to Nagito. So Nagito could move at Mach 2606. Massively hypersonic plus. Do we want to go? Yeah, we can. Might as well go all the way. Could you pull up Naruto light speed? This is Naruto dodging the light. And could you pull up light speed calc?
So I will bring up for this.
Yeah.
Is very much the fact of just like, yes, final, but basically Ultra Form Naruto at the end of his series.
Oh, I'll have an explanation for that. Don't worry. So this is 1.8 times faster than light. Do we want to get into strength now?
No, I want to hear the justification for the light speed.
Yeah. How does Itachi scale to endgame Naruto speed?
Because it is
Okay.
like, even if you want to do the thing, if it's like,
I was
okay,
gonna justify this at the end of strength, but fine. You guys want me to go through other stuff? I guess we can.
man throws man throws his homework down. Now we're
But
telling him to show the
I was
work.
gonna
Yeah,
justify this at the end of strength. Okay.
Yeah, show
I
your
like
work,
this.
Karabaki.
Bye. Could you pull up Itachi
I
versus Obito?
I would also love to be able to go through Aqua's intelligence feats,
We can do that.
as
After.
well as a few more for feats with Shigen too,
Now
just to show how bullshit it is.
this is
Pardon my
Itachi claiming that he can kill Obito. So you know you could make the argument here that Itachi would scale to Obito Uchiha.
It is not a matter of whether or not I could. I will kill you. Even that bad thing. Meanwhile, in canon, he did not kill him.
Okay,
Wait.
but you could still make the argument here that Itachi, because Itachi is smart. He knows that people, he knows when he can't pick fights. All right, he thinks he can beat Obito. I think it's okay to scale into Obito, and Obito kept up with Naruto, who, as we know, scales to that light speed feat.
Did he bad say? Did he scale to that version of Naruto?
Yeah, Obito does scale to that version of Naruto. He kept up with him.
Okay, but one thing to keep in mind is that when Obito scaled to that Naruto, he had the Tenjinjuriki sealed inside of him. This Itachi statement was before Obito got that power.
It's also it is. I also do remember this with Naruto is the fact that Itachi does not know everything about Obito.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even if we just assume that he was referring to all this, like, just because he says, I know I will kill you, doesn't mean it's true. Like, I could say, oh yeah, I could totally do a 360 no scope on you. Doesn't mean I can.
This is like the one time where I think I can say, "Nice statement, sir. However, your character is just wrong." Okay, I don't think
Alright,
he's
Well,
just wrong, but
at the very least, in Naruto chapter 549, he did keep up with KCM Naruto and Killer B. I could say that one at least.
that is
Yeah, that is fair.
okay.
fair.
I decided. I will
Uh,
save her intelligence and her feats for later. Let's get to Aqua's weaknesses. Can you pull up Jigen 2 weaknesses 1 through 4?
You mentioned water and silver. There's more to it.
Water can harm vampires, but again, she's shown to be capable of phasing right through it.
To be fair, I don't think. I guess it's a question of like, unless if there's a thing of like, here's this big ass thing that's specifically her weakness that she tanked. Ooh, what's happening?
Okay. Yeah. So about that. Yeah. Jigen 2 does have a few weaknesses. Could you pull up the second image? We have seen this one already. Um, but again, just to sum it up, most wielders of Jigen 2, uh, when using the dodging ability, can only phase after 40 seconds of previously using it. However, Aqua has adapted past that. So we gotta get to the main thing that Jigen 2 wielders are weak to. Can you get to the first page again? So this is from her fight with a character named Ling Ling, who is a Xiangxi. Ling Ling is the daughter of Tuho Fuhai, who is one of the three Dark Lords, and he's the guy that invented Jigen 2. Now, in order for someone to stop a wielder of Jigen 2, you have to be capable of phasing to the same plane of existence that Jigen 2 is able to phase back and forth from. And you have to prevent the other user, Aqua, for example, from being able to phase up into it. And if you look at pictures 3 and 4 here, here's our boy Sukune Ano, main character. He got training to invent an ability called Shadowless Sword, which is basically a tonfa made of light that allows him to, well, block Jigensu, as you look at part number 4. That is the only way you can really stop Jigensu. You have to be able to face into that other dimension and to stop it.
In a world where these are set in the same universe, they'd absolutely say that Jingu and Kamui just access the same pocket, that's a pocket dimension.
Yep.
They probably would.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, if we want to get into some more of her feats, so she can do, can you pull up Aqua being a bat? I just wanted to show this one off because it's just so funny. It's a scary scene, but it's also funny. Look, she's literally phasing through the ceiling.
This is what we call being extra.
Yep.
Yeah. Aqua's definitely winning the aura farming contest right now.
Oh yeah. Now, can you pull up Aqua's intelligence 1? So this is from the same flashback as before. This is her like 15. This is her other sister Kalua, who she was made to spar with. And if you read through that, you can see she's already figured out how Kalua's fighting style works with just a few minutes of meeting her.
So just
And that's
for
just
my,
her as this is just them as kids.
so curiosity thing, but with Kalua's fighting style, how complex would you say it is?
It's fairly simple compared to Itachi's.
A lot of things are simple compared to Itachi's.
Can you pull up Aqua's intelligence 2 through 5? So this is from her being an adult. That's Toho Fuhai right there. This is him launching Jigen 2 right at where Aqua was standing. Because wielders of Jigen 2, yeah, they can just throw it at a distance from them to hit someone at a distance.
For some reason, I'm just thinking karate top action.
And if you keep scrolling through, so in this particular scene, she just got finished fighting Ling Ling, and she was barely able to dodge this. But if you look at 4 and 5, this is her immediately taking what she just witnessed and go to number 5, please. Like immediately launching it to destroy a invisible barrier that was hiding her sister.
Interesting.
Oh, can you pull up a gun? Just gun one for free. I just wanted to show this one off too. Okay, this is the last one for now, man. We can go back to Kagura. So,
very funny.
anybody know what type of gun this is, by the way? I have no idea what exact type of gun this is. I'm pretty sure it is an assault rifle.
That is an assault rifle.
Yeah. All of his magic abilities, and Ling Ling just pulls out a damn gun.
For her neutral special, Akua uses a gun.
And if you go to the next, if you go to gun 2 and gun 2,
I hope that it just makes a big explosion like you'd expect from one of Doomguy's guns.
This is practically point blank range that she's being shot at. And if you go to gun free,
And let me guess, she dodges it by phasing to it.
Drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
she's perfect. Hey, that is not gun free. That is a different picture.
It happens. Okay, then, so...
But yeah, she's perfectly fine. She's perfectly fine. Her favorite coat is ruined, but she's fine. Could you imagine that?
All right. So
Seriously, magical series, the character just pulls out a fucking gun.
Not the first time. So... I have a general idea what speed goes on through. How strong is our boy Itachi?
Itachi? Sure. I'll bring up. Could you bring up Meteor? This is not the Meteor that you're thinking. This is not Madara's Meteor, if you're wondering. Different.
Itachi, how am I supposed to... Congratulations, you scaled to media.
Could you pull up mountain level now?
Okay, so quick question. Where did this media come from?
I think this was Pain. I believe it was Pain. I say it was a meteor. It probably wasn't a meteor, but it's a large flaming rock. I mean, what else do you think?
Planetoid.
Yeah, I know that with like the gravity stuff, though, he can mess around with. But like, obviously, he made that thing to try to seal up Kurama.
It was not Pain.
It's not Pain. Okay. I don't know where that one came from then, but it is something that Itachi should scale to.
We don't know where it came from, but I think Itachi can go on through.
Oh, okay.
Who's
Either way, this couch should
Gary?
be fine. 1.8 gigatons of TNT.
Let's see. Toneri Akatsuki is
Hmm.
from fucking Boruto.
What, a Boruto feat?
What? Toneri? I mean, it should be fine. It's not like it's the large ones, you know.
But
It's
like,
not like I'm saying Itachi scales to the moon cutting feet, okay, guys?
You're just giving me a random feat and going, yeah, Itachi should scale to this. With
Like,
no chain.
what is your argument for Itachi scaling to something that happens in Boruto long after he's left the series?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
what is
weaker
this?
feat.
A weaker feat than what?
Compared to what Itachi scales to.
How about you show us something Itachi does scale to with something
Fine.
Itachi does?
Speaking of what Itachi scales to, what does he scale to?
I don't know. This might work.
Oh my god. Okay.
At least without like Aqua and Alucard, there was a clear downscaling chain.
He. Okay.
Okay,
It's
speaking of
Sasuke the
Alucard.
last destroys. I mean,
Sorry.
I don't know what to say, guys. He should scale to this. But okay,
Wow.
okay. I will find something else. I'll find something else. Okay. I'll find
don't
something else
want
because
to
clearly this is a
Scale, I
problem.
want
If you
Okay.
guys,
Show your
Okay,
map.
speaking of Alucard,
okay,
if I may cut in. Speaking of Alucard, can you pull up Miyabi versus Toho Fuhai real quick? Okay, before I say anything, yes, this is the dumbest face I've ever seen in this.
I'm sorry. This
Okay,
is a really funny panel.
but for context here, Oh, you already know who Tuhofa is. He's one of the Dark Lords. Miyabi is important here because Miyabi is a clone of Alucard.
Hmm.
So he has the same powers and abilities as Alucard himself. And he has Alucard's consciousness within his body. And this is him one-shotting Toho Fuhai
Ah.
with a single hit.
So
Now,
Alucard
can you
can
pull up
one shot.
Miyabi versus Aqua 1 through 5?
No main expansion.
Wait, what?
And
Okay,
that
yeah,
was
can you pull up
Mahito, what
Miyabi
are you
versus
doing
Aqua?
here?
Mahito about to back into a fight he has no clue about Genjutsu.
Yeah.
But yeah, can you pull up Miyabi versus Aqua 1 through 5, please? So, to start off, this is just after that she was taken out from the fighting for a while and had broken her neck. She literally got kicked so hard and got sent into a boulder, which I can show you in a second if you want to see. And she got up just fine. That's
So-
admittedly a pretty low durability feat, but it's like one of the main ones that she has that isn't using Jigentu. But yeah, she's a distance away from Miyabi. And she is changing sides by this point because Mocha is the main person that she cares about because Mocha's her little sister, and Miyabi is threatening her. So if you go to the next slide. And then the next slide after that. Yeah, she literally ripped him to pieces
Okay,
in
then
seconds. He's fine. He is fine for the record. He almost immediately heals from that.
but it's clear
But,
with how he's looking that he got hurt.
But if you look at the fifth picture. Yeah. None of the other characters could hurt him. But she took him down. She took that clone down that quickly. And if
Yeah.
you even look at Alucard acknowledging Alucard's strength.
I assume you mean Alucard acknowledging Aqua's strength. However,
Yep.
it would be very
Yep.
funny if Alucard was going over how great he was.
Sounds like an Alucard thing to do.
Yeah, this is literally him acknowledging while he's healing, just how powerful Aqua is.
So yeah, I think this does seem to put up the case of like best case scenario should decently downscale to Alucard, worst case scenario should be on par with the Dark Lords, which you can probably like they sealed Alucard, so you can argue that they don't probably beat him, but that's still like divide his strength by like 4 or 5 if you feel.
Yeah, or like 33% if there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Either
quick
way,
question.
like she is roughly in the ballpark Dark Lord level.
Oh, if you want to see another feat, Aqua breaking the roof.
The roof of what?
The Toad?
She's just also in the Toad.
Okay, so most of his fight takes place in like a floating fortress that is slowly falling through the sky towards Tokyo. And this is just a huge chunk of a roof that she destroys with one hit.
Very impressive.
And if you thought the last waltz was bullshit, can you pull up Circle of Hellfire 1 through 4?
Man, this really does just become a shonen anime for fun.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
Like, man, just in the middle of making his arm stuff, just like, I've decided I'm gonna make this a shonen. Anyway, let's activate the Rosario+Vampire.
Okay,
They pulled a
So-
reverse SAO.
this is this is an unalive attack. Got a censor for YouTube. But basically, yeah, it would raise the temperature inside the circle that we're in by several thousand degrees, and she is put into a position where realistically she should not be able to escape, even with Jigentu. And if you go up to the next page, that's how big the explosion is. That literally destroyed, caused damage to that entire courtyard that they're fighting in. And if you go to 3 and 4, yeah, spoiler alert, she's perfectly fine. If you go to the 4th one, she was supposed to not even be able to escape it, and yet she hid below last second.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's like light speed, but that's just bullshit.
Wait, so did she use her technique to destroy the ground under her to like hide underground?
She literally phased under the ground at practically the last second. She was in the epicenter of where the explosion was. She was supposed to be trapped there, and she just phased right into the ground to dodge it.
Interesting.
Okay.
So the thing that I'm getting from this is the fact that this definitely should have killed her if it actually properly hit.
Oh yeah, this most likely would have severely wounded her.
Okay.
Alright. Ironically enough, that's like proof that if Itachi could get one of his more powerful fire jutsus off, there's an argument to be made that Akua would be harmed by it. It's just a matter of if Itachi could land the hit in between those 40-second intervals between her ability.
And I do want to stress this. She does not have that limit. Most Jigentu users do. She does not.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay. Kagura, you were trying to say something?
Yeah. So I found some other calcs. I'll just read them off. I can't pull them off screen right now. But okay. So Pain's Chibaku Tensei was calculated at 172 megatons. And then Naruto's Six Tails Biju Bomb is 7.49 gigatons. So there, I found some other feats. I can't pull them up, sadly, but there's Uncle.
I want you to help out the Hidden Leaf Village. Didn't you mentally torture me? I'd say, shut up, mother.
All right, I think Itachi does have a shot here to land an attack, though.
The way that it's looked up is that we kind of got off, though, that Aqua's, like, lightning timer may be vaguely faster, and Itachi should be, like, at worst 4 times faster than that.
Yeah, I think Itachi has a shot. Could you pull up the trump card, everything?
I hope it's just Itachi with the gun. Parry this, casual.
We already know Aqua's gun resistant.
All right, Itachi's Tsukuyomi allows him to control everything within the illusion itself. And I want to specify this: Itachi's illusions are layered because they can affect people who resist mental attacks. And to prove that they can, I can pull up. Let me see. I'm trying to find the specific scan. Well, yes. Could you pull up oof.jpg? This is Kakashi, who has been affected by Tsukuyomi, and he says himself that it felt like 3 days just happened instantaneously. Kakashi resists mental attacks. Um, he still got affected by Tsukuyomi. And I mentioned Naruto resisted mental attacks and still got affected by Itachi's genjutsu.
Mm-hmm.
Other things to bring up. Susanoo. Could you pull up Susanoo? So Itachi does have Susanoo. Pretty cool ability. It if you know what Susanoo can do, creates a huge giant chakra armor. This huge dude that you can basically destroy a lot of area with. And I think you can make the argument that Susanoo comes out instantaneously. Could you pull up Susanoo instant? Um, and also sealing. Could you pull up sealing? Anyone and anything it pierces becomes trapped in a blissful, dreamlike genjutsu. So that's the sword of Kusinagi, which Itachi would have for his fight, or the sword of Totsuka. I'm sorry, my mind is jumbled all over the place, so forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Amaterasu, the flames that never stop burning no matter what. If you pull up I Spy, Itachi has that. Another example of his skill. Could you pull up Uchiha's Our Little Bros? Just him casually defeating 3 Uchiha ninja just by himself.
I mean, it's, you know,
Didn't
it's the
he
thing that was
slaughter
brought
his
up
entire clan?
of like Aqua doing all that murder stuff at like 17, and I was like, how old was Itachi when he wiped out his own clan again?
Yeah, Itachi was 17 when he destroyed his entire clan. The Uchihas are experienced ninjas, so it's not like they're pushovers, but they are little bros compared to Itachi. Speaking of which, could you pull up Jeff the Land Shark?
What?
Yes, Jeff the Land Shark. Water attack.
What?
Yeah, this is Jeff the Land Shark. Water attack. That's why I call it that.
Oh. Oh
And
yeah, I forgot this exploding clone was a water attack.
and then could you pull up Fox Neutral B? The Yata mirror can turn back any attack, and it reflects at any attack that comes at it. So it can potentially, you could argue that it could reflect G-Gun back at her, the vampire,
Aqua.
potentially.
Fair, and you could also argue that she'd be able to dodge her own attack.
I mean, my thought process with Susanoo is the fact of I'm like 80% certain that Aqua could just walk through it.
But it does provide some unique abilities, you have to admit.
Like,
Yeah.
it does provide some abilities, and I wouldn't be surprised. It is the mood of like. It's the thing of like with what's been given, with how like the feats go off too, is the fact of like Alucard's statement thing probably gets decently above anything that Itachi's had. The visual feats a bit less so.
Okay. So there is one last thing I do want to get into that
Ooh.
does make things interesting,
Oh wait, one
and
last.
I'm pretty positive these are the last set of photos that I have for Aqua.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Could
Go
you
first.
pull up Aqua's mentality and motivation 1 through 12? Well, one through 10's the first part. So this is gonna sound weird saying this, but this might work against Aqua, to be fair. And to be honest, the one thing I really love about this matchup is I honestly do not know who wins. But so Aqua's mentality, she does, well, to be fair, for the most part, she's an adult. Except for the fact that underneath the surface, if you look at number 2, she is mentally broken from her past. See, as we flip through, basically what happened in sorry, I'm getting off track. But yeah, it's even said here that at the end of the series, she takes on both Sukune and her sister Mocha, but she is holding back because of the fact that she hates the fact that she's fighting her own sister, who she loves a little too much. Yeah, this is kind of a part where you can go all Sweet Home Alabama because yeah, it is like that for her.
Oh no.
There's a reason.
Doesn't make it okay.
Sorta.
What do you mean, sorta?
So, if you keep flipping through to number 6. So Aqua had a childhood friend named Jasmine, who she was very close with. They were both vampires. If you go to number 7, yeah, Jasmine was murdered by humans.
I will again reiterate, this was a harem comedy at first.
um, Basically, what had happened was, if you keep flipping through, if you flip through to number 9 real quick. But basically, what happened was Aqua harmed a human friend of Jasmine's because she was very overprotective of Jasmine, and Jasmine wanted to try to make peace with the humans, so she went back to the human village that her human friend was in. And unfortunately, it ended in her death. The humans that found out she was a vampire, they killed her and cut her into pieces. And as you can kind of see, Jasmine looks a lot like Mocha. And when Aqua was adopted by her father, or Issa, who's Mocha's father, into the Shuzen family, Aqua saw Mocha as a sort of replacement for Jasmine. And during the last part of a flashback with her fight with Akasha, before Akasha mysteriously disappeared, and that was because she used her own physical body to seal Alucard away again. Yes, I said again.
Guy comes out every other Sunday, please understand.
He
He needs his walkies. Otherwise he
and
gets
before
wasted.
she left, before she left, she made Aqua promise to protect Aqua, protect Mocha when the time comes. And so for Alucard to show up again. And Alucard even mentions it himself in in the slide number 8. No, not number 8, number 6. He even taunts her about this. That's why she sliced him into pieces.
Okay, then, so.
So, yeah, theoretically, if she isn't able to dodge the Genjutsu, especially Tsukiyomi, it's more than likely that this is what Itachi would be using against her.
I think, I think, uh, I think she would be vulnerable to Tsukiyomi, because especially since it's not entirely obvious that Itachi is using it. Like he doesn't need to look at you, or you don't even need to look at him. He just has to point at you. And
I do also remember it's like a thing that that it is like Naruto has a fight battle with Itachi. And it is the thing of like he knows about Itachi's tricks, and he still got surprised about how early he got caught in a genjutsu.
yeah, that's the thing. Naruto was prepared to face Itachi. He knew about Itachi's powers. He knew what Itachi could do, and he still got caught in the genjutsu.
Yeah, and even a Genjutsu specialized. Uh, I forget her name, but even that one Genjutsu specialist he fought, like, had her own most powerful Genjutsu instantly reversed on her. So, yeah, seems very likely that Akua could be affected by it. There was a time Itachi made someone live an entire life in a Oh yeah, that's right. For one of the victims during the Uchiha massacre, he had someone live out the entire rest of her life because they were kind of like childhood crushes or something. So he mercy killed her by having her live out the rest of her life in a reality where she and Itachi actually got to live a happy life together, which happened in the span about 3 seconds before she died.
I think
I
I
do-
remember this
I do
being
am-
used about like as an example of fucking Uchiha genjutsus are actually that cracked.
Could you pull up? Actually, this is not related to the genjutsu, but this is really funny. Could you pull up that face you make when you are in an Iron Fist ult?
What?
Um,
This is just Itachi one-shotting Orochimaru, but I love Orochimaru's face here because it's so funny. Just look
Hmm. So yeah, how I imagine this fight ending, uh, probably be a mix of brutal or tragic. Because at the end of the day, these two are very tragic characters.
yeah.
yeah.
Very tragic, very broken.
Do we want to move on to? I don't know if Sherm is gonna pop up. Sherm, do you want to pop up and do the thing?
What happens when it's revealed the entirety of the power of vampire was just a
You, listen, Sean, you need to understand, it's not the entirety, just season 2 of the anime.
Yeah, season 2 was a genjutsu. In fact, this entire cast was a genjutsu. None of this is actually real. You're still
Oh
asleep.
no!
You're never waking up.
So I suppose I gotta ask, is there any more points to argue about?
I think we covered everything that we could, but I just want to ask if Sherm is gonna pop up and do the whole thing.
Oh wait, I just remembered one more thing. Sorry.
She has another gun.
Can you pull up
I will ask if you're gonna bring
I
something
am
up, but
so
it needs to
sorry.
be a bit quick because my time's about to
Oh,
about
yeah.
done.
Can you pull up Aqua versus Akasha 1-7?
Was the extra gun hidden in the toad?
The winner will just be the Toad. Pulls out a gun, shoots the winner. That was for my brother. You jerks.
Yeah, specifically number 6. So Aqua is capable of throwing out more than one in blast as you can do. She can throw up to 100 blades at once. And again, they're not actual blades. It's literally just her hand phasing through that fast. And this was her fighting Akasha, and something to note from this fight is that they were both holding back because they didn't really want to fight each other.
Holding back me seeing all the zoom lines.
And if you go to number 7, that's an entire ballroom destroyed.
Ooh.
From that attack. And keep in mind, she was 17 in this flashback.
So extra 7 years of power growth and experience to go on through while holding back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's about it.
All right. Oh, and look,
Oh,
we have a Sanji Sturm.
It's me. I'm here. Yeah. So I guess what we're kind of implying was we wanted to get to my announcements, and then after that we'd go on to verdicts.
Yeah, that's basically what we wanted to do.
Yep.
So we're on a bit of a time crunch, so I'll just kind of go through my stuff real quick. Our
I
good
cannot wait to rewatch this.
our good friend Noah has released his newest episode of Fan Battle, Ness versus Frisk. I don't know how many of y'all watched it, but let me tell you, it's very unique as far as fan battles go. These just keep getting better and better. As animated segments. Spoiler alert, it's pretty cool. The formatting is unique and does a couple of interesting tricks. And the ending may surprise you. It's very fascinating. I'm excited for the next time. And yeah, then y'all have any thoughts on the fight?
I didn't know it was out until you brought this up.
Well, you got something to watch after this cast then. Link in the description.
Yep, I'll watch it on
Same
the car
for
out
me,
of
I didn't
time.
realize this was out yet.
Well, that's what we're here for. Fan Battle Ness versus Frisk came out. So go ahead and make sure to catch up on it, because it's really cool.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Now, moving
Well,
on. Besides just the fan battle, we've also had Akua is a character that doesn't have a lot of renders for making thumbnails. So we had a little bit of a competition to see who could make the best thumbnails. So we're just going to show some of them off. The winner is the thumbnail we decided to use, but we have had some quality stuff. This one's impressive because they made it like within like 10 minutes of the announcement being made. This one I think is really cool. This is by let me grab the name because I have trouble pronouncing it. But this one was Puella what is that? Their Discord is Puella Insomnio, that's what it is. Otherwise known as I don't know what they're otherwise known as because I got streamer mode on right now, but hey, hit them up on Discord or anything else. They do commissions. This thumbnail's pretty cool. I like the thumbnail. The only reason this didn't win was because the blood smears kind of made it hard to see Akua along with like all the red. So this is like stylistically one of the
I
coolest
just like
ones.
to remind people that it's pronounced Aqua.
Aqua.
Like water.
Well,
I
it
am
should have
so
been spelled
sorry.
with a Q.
Very ironically named, considering one of the weaknesses.
It confuses people. It makes them think they can't bring water to the fight. Oh, it's a water person.
Remind me to name my lactose intolerant kid Milk.
The milk.
Okay,
Riddle and his
Okay,
child,
so,
the
like,
milkman.
okay. So the funny thing with Issa Shuzen is that all 4 of his daughters are named after beverages.
I'm beginning
Really?
to see, understand why Aqua has issues.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
Aqua is, of course, water. There's mocha, which is
Yeah,
hot
yeah.
chocolate and coffee. And there's cocoa, which is hot chocolate. And there's Kahlua, which is like hot chocolate and rum, I believe.
Mm.
Also, as an odd thing, who made this thumbnail, Shem?
This was made by Kino. This is another very good thumbnail. I like the red and the red. It looks good together.
I like the fact that there's like the two modes everyone's had is either full red or red and blue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then we have this one made by Dragon Fable Fanatic. And I gotta shout them out because they were the only people who used a render that no one else used. They finally didn't
Ooh,
use that one render of Akua
That
we
is a
have.
really cool red.
Oh yeah.
That's a really cool render.
It looks
of
nice. It
Aqua.
looks nice.
Honestly, I think this is my personal favorite of the thumbnails.
I like it a lot. The only issue is, and this just might be a me thing, I always have trouble when the renders aren't like looking in the same direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at these renders, they look like they're the same height when they're really not.
Yeah, like how tall is Aqua?
She's like 5'4", I believe.
Okay.
I know that's a thing that she's supposed to be relatively tiny, and she has a complex with it.
What's
Yeah,
next?
she's rather on the shorter end.
I don't know who made this next one.
You can still
but,
tell she's an adult. She's just rather short.
She is
and
a
it bugs
small
the shit
bee.
out of her.
some schmo made this. I don't know who, but the renders I think match up nicely. I like the
I mean,
twisted backgrounds.
I'd love to say how good this render is. Unfortunately, the person who made it's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, we had to take him out of
Itachi-
server the other day. It wasn't
I
good.
just looked it up. Itachi is
Ooh.
5'10".
Yeah, so he's not like a giant or nothing. It's just like a realistic height difference.
But no, but
The
But, with
5'11"
enough-
versus 6' meme.
Yeah.
But no, with enough joking things, this was me who made this. And fun fact for Aqua's side is that it's like I was thinking, it's like Itachi has this thing with like Bate with like the moon and a red sky as an iconic symbol with them. And I'm like, okay, what do I do with Aqua? So I just typed in Castlevania castle and picked the best image.
Wait, is that a Castlevania castle in the background?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
It's like
Nice.
she hates Alucard, so she hates Alucard vampires. I'm sure I can find one of them to make it work.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Alucard's her grandfather.
Oh, well, I guess that's another Uchiha connection. They got that bloodline thing going on.
Yeah.
Yes, got the bloodline thing going on, have a younger sibling that they both care about, were part of villainous organization, but were actually had good intentions in the end. I am a real big fan of this matchup the more I hear about Aqua.
It's a cool idea. I think like the choreography.
Not to
would be
mention they're
cool.
both prodigies.
I think this thumbnail's really cool. The only thing holding it back is Itachi kind of looks a bit blurry, but besides that, I think like stylistically it's great.
You'd be surprised how surprisingly low quality some of Itachi's
Yeah,
videos are.
Itachi, one of the most top like 5 iconic Naruto characters, has like no one's made like actually good renders for him.
That's
Problem is,
because
he's had
They're
good
not
with
really
this.
bad.
I can
You're just
explain
in
it. There's a lore
genjutsu.
reason.
What's
There's
the
a
lore
lore-
reason?
The lore reason is that Itachi is just camera shy.
You can only take pictures
That
of him
and
from far away.
Itachi is also going blind, so
Itachi from it's like if Itachi was looking in a mirror, this is what he would see.
yeah,
There
exactly.
you go.
I
Wait,
was gonna make
can
the
Akua
joke
look
of-
in the mirror? Well, if she looks in the mirror, will it be nothing, or will she see a reflection? Aqua is what I meant to say.
Oh no, she'll see her reflection just fine.
Are these guys even
Oh,
vampires?
and also fun
The-
fact for the water weakness, vampires are still capable of consuming it and bathing in it, so long as they use like special herbs that they have to buy.
Well, now
Yeah,
I-
that's why vampires in Rosario+Vampire aren't stinky.
well, I guess since you've corrected my pronunciation on Aqua, I can happily tell you that it's pronounced herb. Ha. Get wrecked.
Okay, yeah, I deserve that. I deserve that.
Get
I
wrecked.
realized right away that I messed that up.
Yeah. Also, this one's my second favorite one. I think this one's sick. It almost won.
Yeah.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
that is
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the
That is
person that
good.
was
It definitely-
making this last night. That's definitely awesome.
I thought
think-
about
Right.
trying to do
It
like a thing with manga pictures instead of the things,
Yeah.
considering how limited Aqua was otherwise.
It honestly kind of plays with the whole horror element of the two of them.
Yeah. The red eyes and the pink eyes looks really cool because that's like one of the most defining like appearance things. The only
Very
reason I think
true.
this didn't win is that one of the parts of the contest was it would make a good YouTube thumbnail, and the black and white, while looking stylistically sick, isn't as like popping and recognizable. But I think like from a stylistic standpoint, is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah, it's black and white and red all over.
Black and
So-
white and red all over.
So I will bring up, I do need to go very soon.
All right,
So-
let's get to verdicts.
Yep, let's start the vote.
I mean, if you wanted, I was just gonna butt
Yeah.
in real quick with my verdict, and then just let you guys do your things on your own time. But,
Sure, go ahead, Riddles.
Okay, then. So, about it is very interesting going on through here because I think both characters have very clear-cut advantages. And it's the thing of like Itachi is faster, but it is not to a point that it's like blitzing Aqua is guaranteed. But it is the thing of like I think Genjutsu is just is the trump card here. Like she has some resistances to it, but but as brought up, there was layered stuff, and even if it could be argued that she could probably resist the lighter stuff, the heavier shit that Itachi has, I don't think she'll have a good counter to when it comes to Genjutsu. And at that point, especially since it does seem that her durability is not as great, that if she's just stuck immobile for whatever reason, Itachi can find a way to put Aqua down. So I am going to side with Itachi, but I will also say that if the Toad is nearby, he will sneak a win.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you guys for having me on here. That's it. And I'm sorry to rush on through with this.
Yeah, sure.
It's all good,
No
man.
worries.
It's
Thank
all
you
good.
for
It's all
stopping
good.
by.
See ya.
Take care.
All right. So I guess we could have our final arguments, right?
Final arguments to sway my vote and the audience before they cast.
Okay. Could you pull up Genjutsu GG LMAO?
These names are killing me, man.
Yeah, this is my funny picture. I always draw one for every single battle.
Look at that face.
It's the scream.
Yeah. So now onto the actual argument. I think Itachi will take this because even if you say like, oh, he's obviously not light speed, right? I think Itachi is just fast enough to catch Aqua with a Genjutsu. I think that Aqua would be susceptible to it because her mental defenses, while impressive, are not layered. So if she gets caught in like a Tsukuyomi, I don't see her breaking out of it. And once she's caught, she will be stuck and vulnerable. And that's the point where Itachi can just drop a water jutsu or any really strong attack and just take her out. So I think that the Genjutsu here was the trump card that allowed Itachi to take the win, in my humble opinion.
Okay,
Queen
well,
of the Dead, do you have a final argument?
my final argument. Well, again, water can only severely harm her. It can't outright kill her unless she's like buried in it, and then she'd probably drown. But again, Gigantu is just that broken, in that she's able to cut through anything. And as you were able to see, she can even cut through illusions. So there is still a good chance that she can make it through this. And it's gonna take Itachi down.
All right, Zoro, your verdict?
All right, so just to add in maximum attention to my vote, looking at the poll, Aqua, sorry, that spelling is throwing me off. Aqua is currently in the lead, so we are tied. So I get to decide the fate of this debate. And after hearing everything from both sides, I must say that I am very impressed with Aqua's standing. I don't. I'm not even gonna begin to pronounce her phasing technique, so I'm just gonna call it the phasing technique. Her phasing is incredibly powerful, and I have no doubt that she would be able to hold her own against Itachi for quite a bit. However, given the fact of how easy it is for people with mental defenses to be able to fall into Itachi's genjutsu, how Aqua herself has fought illusions that only make things appear bigger that there are, and not really anything as encompassing or to the scale of regular Naruto genjutsu, which affects the whole perception. On top of the fact that Aqua has a very exploitable mental weakness in that her connection to her sister, to where if a genjutsu did pull off with, manipulating that it would be severely hindering her ability. I think that Itachi would eventually get the victory on this matchup, but it would not be an easy one. So I will be voting for Itachi.
I will
Alrighty,
not.
that's fair.
I will not deny, Queen. You put up a really good fight. Jigon was one of the most difficult things I had to counter in like this one of these fan battle casts. Like out of all the fan battle casts, Jigon was definitely
Literally, of all the abilities that I've seen in fiction, Jigen 2 is just broken.
Yeah, Jigen is really.
It's like one of the most broken.
Oh yeah, like
I'll be honest. If Itachi didn't have good genjutsu, I would have been cooked. All right.
yeah. I'll be honest. I almost voted for Aqua just because of that one meteor feat you just tried to connect to Itachi without any context.
Okay, look.
The genjutsu arguments were too strong.
Look, that meteor feat, that was a weaker feat. I thought it was okay to use.
Weaker to what, Karabachi? Weaker
my
to
God.
what?
Well, regardless, I tip my hat to you.
Yes, it was a good debate.
All right.
Yeah.
This
And
was
Man, my first cast, and I'm actually glad I did okay.
yeah,
you did really good. You did really good.
But yeah,
And I'm gonna listen to this afterwards, and I'm probably gonna cringe at the sound of my voice.
What is with the Uchihas fighting against Jigon? Hey, before we end this cast, Queen, since you are pitching it, I know we kind of went over some of the connections earlier between Aqua and Itachi, but I just want to ask, just in general, since we got people here, why is it that you decided that this would be a matchup that you would want to pitch? Just kind of give us your thought process. Why do you think this is a worthy death battle?
Well, the thing with Itachi versus Aqua is it is my most wanted. And Rosario+Vampire is a series that's like not talked about enough in versus debating. So I wanted to talk about a matchup that does involve Rosario+Vampire. And it just happens to be that a lot of traits that Itachi has match up with traits that Aqua has. With the whole connection of them being assassins, prodigies, having younger siblings that they care about, the whole double agent thing. And plus, the whole banter potential between these two just sounds so fun.
Oh, yeah.
If you really think about it. Because Itachi's like so serious, and Aqua is like pretty laid back. in comparison.
Honestly, like, despite the fact that both of them are assassins, like, these two would probably be like this would probably be one of the most chill death battles, just in terms of both of them just like not really reacting to the other's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
will.
one of the other ideas I had for how the fight would start would be like
Oh,
one
Sherm
of
is
them saying something that would piss the other off, but that's not in character for either of them.
all right. So, Sherm is asking us through the Great Beyond. How do you feel about Rin Okumura from Blue Exorcist versus Mocha Akashia from Rosario Vampire?
I will be perfectly honest. Before before the idea of Mocha fighting Rin was brought up, do you want to know who my most wanted opponent for Mocha was?
Who?
Mira Jane from Fairy Tail.
Oh.
I don't really know too much about Rosario Vampire outside of Aqua, so I'm going to take your word that that's a good matchup.
It's not bad, but Rin actually, from what I've heard, is a much better opponent for Mocha.
Oh, all right. I'm not familiar with both, but like, I'll take your word for it. It does sound interesting.
Also,
Yeah,
My
definitely
Inner
the
Demons
second
is
one.
an awesome track.
Yeah. I can confirm that is a pretty sick track.
Yeah, I I don't know the music potential of Rosario Vampire, but if it's anything like Inner Demons, then we got a good thing going on here with
Oh yeah,
Itachi
I've
versus
heard
Akua.
I've heard
Right.
a little bit of the music from Rosario Vampire, and it's pretty decent.
Honestly, between that and like the Naruto soundtrack, like let Brendan Yates cook. The it would be a gothic paradise.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So,
Yeah,
do we want to end right now?
yeah. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts?
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
thank
pleasure.
you for being with us on the cast, and thank you again for supporting Death Battle. I will say you have definitely won me over to this as being like Itachi's best matchup.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I will say this is a great Itachi matchup. I would definitely look forward to it if it happened.
I have said about Itachi's other matchups, but I will say here real quick. I do like him as much as I like him fighting Aqua. I would just be super duper happy if he ends up fighting Aqua on
Oh
Death
yeah.
Battle.
Well, I'm rooting for you. And have you done your pitch yet?
Oh yeah, I did a good while back.
How'd it go? Good.
It is on my YouTube channel, Queen of the Dead 2023.
Oh
The
yes.
link is in the description below.
Oh yeah. So if you are interested in the matchup, viewers at home, feel free to go check out the pitch and show some Queen some support. But
I
otherwise,
arguably talked about it more in depth here than I did there. Because I only had 10 minutes there.
well, yeah, that's the difference between like a 10-minute pitch and like a
Hour long.
almost 2-hour podcast. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Man, this was 2 hours. Holy.
like 1 hour 40 minutes. But you know,
Mhm.
but yeah. Thank you again all for watching another episode of the Fan Battle cast.
Yeah.
Yay!
This was great.
Yep.
Everybody say bye bye.
Bye bye.